Peace, everybody. This is Ziggy, the Iron King. I'm back at you once again. I went live last week. I was basically talking about health, talking about like my mission statement of my business. I make some holistic creations, and a lot of the things that I wanted to do, a lot of the things that I plan to do, and basically the mission statement of my business as far as being a brand of a holistic brand that helps people to reverse their illnesses. And me having cerebral palsy, I wanted to be able to show people the progress that I have made thus far in the holistic lifestyle, and the progress that I can make in the next couple of months as I start to embark on this health journey that I'm going to start off real soon. Also, like, a part of me, like, trying to commit myself to doing this YouTube channel is basically kind of like hold myself accountable, because if I come to you every week or maybe every few days, then it'll give me a reason to try to like be on top of things as far as my own personal journey. Another thing that I really want to be able to do with my platform on this YouTube and on my Instagram, follow me at Maxim Holistic Creations on Instagram. Follow me at Ziggy the Iron King on Instagram. But one of the other things that I wanted to do with my platforms is I want to basically try to kind of touch bases with you guys and let you guys, keep up with what I'm doing in my physical journey and as well as my business journey. As you know, I started my business back in February. And yesterday, actually, I believe it might have been the eight month anniversary of me starting my business, because I started officially on February 22nd, my dad's birthday, who is part of the reason my black seed oil is named Zachamora Black Seed Oil. It's different meanings behind the name and things like that, but he's definitely a big part of the reason for the name, and it launched on his birthday. But another reason for my channel is I'd like to really kind of show my growth as a business person. Me starting in February, I had no clue of the trials and tribulations of a business owner. You know what I mean? Because when you start a brand or a business, you think that, okay, I'm going to bring out my vision for the world and hope that people gravitate to it. You don't really consider, the marketing aspect of it. And even especially more than anything else, the on the internet side, on the online side of running a business and creating awareness, as far as being kind of like an e-commerce brand. So I learned very quick that was more to having a business than just, putting your stuff out there on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and places like that, and thinking that people just gonna just see your stuff and buy it. I've gotten a lot of support from friends and family and stuff like that, and it's been an interesting journey, a journey that I love, and I wouldn't take it back for anything in the world. Getting into holistic health, I've probably been living a holistic lifestyle probably for about 12, 13 years. Really as the information age started, accelerating with like YouTube and things like that. But other things going on, like when my dad got diagnosed with multiple myeloma cancer and things like that, where it's like, okay, now I was living that lifestyle, and I had a passion for it, and just learning. But things like that, when it comes close to home, it's like you get to the point to where, okay, just kind of like you gotta really put it to work and put it to use, and you just hope that the person or the people that you're trying to help will take to the information as best as they can, and you try to give it to them as best as they can. But like at the end of the day, you can't force anybody to do, like, you can't actually walk in their shoes when they're dealing with a certain condition. And the toughest part is you can't really control their level of commitment when it comes to dealing with certain conditions and things like that. And when that person gets to the point where, okay, they basically have no choice, or it's a life and death situation, it's up to them at the end of the day. No matter how knowledgeable you are on health, it's up to that person themselves to be able to go as far as they want to go with the diet, with the herbs and things like that, because there's so many different factors as it relates to dealing with conditions. There's the mental aspect, the spiritual aspect, there's the physical aspect, and then there's just the discipline aspect. You know what I'm saying? Just like working out. If you want to work out and get, to a certain point physically, whether it's losing weight or whether it's, trying to, get healthy and, get in a certain condition, it's up to you how far you want to go with it, if you want to get to where you want to go. And it's the same way with, when you're dealing with things like diabetes and cancer and things like that. With all the knowledge that I have and the knowledge that I continue to have, I'm very confident in, being able to help people and assist people with dealing with certain conditions. But no matter how much knowledge or how much access you may have to like certain herbs and things like that, it's up to that person to be able to halt the diet that they have, get rid of that thinking that they have, or get rid of, whatever gluttonous ways as far as dieting, getting rid of the meat, getting rid of the the pork, getting rid of, the starches and things like that. It's up to them, you know what I mean? And at the same time, people recover at different levels. My dad, was blessed to be able to recover and overcome his multiple myeloma. And that was about 5-6 years ago now, which is crazy because that time went by, very quick. I mean, that time went by very quick. It's like 6 years now. It's 2021, but maybe like 5 years. 5 years. But yeah, it went by very quick. But yeah. So when it comes to like that side of, there's many different aspects of running a business, and the far as like with the herbalism thing, running a herbalism business, you it's very personal in a way, because especially it's one thing that, when you have potential customers that are into, just into being healthy, and then there's you deal with customers that decide, okay, I'm dealing with this condition, I gotta commit myself to get rid of this, and I gotta do what I gotta do to get rid of it. And then you have people that maybe their family members are like, okay, I know this guy, he knows his stuff. I'm gonna bring my family member or my friend to this guy, and I'm gonna have him talk to this guy. But that person comes to me and talks to me or whatever, or communicates with me, but they aren't willing to really go all the way with it. You know what I mean? And I talked about that for a second last week, where I've had people come to me like, okay, they think it's sweet. Okay, I just take this. And then they start taking it and it's like, okay, well, this doesn't taste good, so I'm not going to take it because it doesn't taste good. I'm not going to commit to taking it because it doesn't taste good, even though I'm taking chemo and it's literally killing me. You know what I'm saying? To me, like I said last week, that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. But at the same time, I've been a patient in the medical field, and now, and I've been, a customer as far as in the holistic field, buying herbs and things like that, and learning about what it takes to reverse different illnesses, what different conditions are, and how the body works, and how to go about reversing certain conditions, like cerebral palsy. And like I said, I've had a lot of progress living this holistic lifestyle. I've had a lot of progress, and I'm ready to accelerate it even more. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos and trying to commit myself to doing these videos, so that I can put myself out there and show people that, it can be done. You know what I'm saying? I've got people that I've been able to help with blood sugar and diabetes and things like that. A lot of testimonies. And I haven't really pressured people like, okay, let me do this video, let me, do this testimony. And I don't want to force anybody to do that. People have been willing to okay, yeah, I want to, really let people know you know what you're doing. But the point of this video is more so about marketing more than health. Like, I want to really show and speak about, my life as a businessman now, because I work a 9 to 5, and right now I've been working overtime. I've been trying to get between 20 and 30 hours of overtime to help fund my business. And so I'm working a full-time work schedule, trying to learn the ins and outs of running a business, then actually, packaging and things like that. So I'm doing a lot of it for the most of it by myself. My mom, she's helping me like on the shipping side of it a lot of times. So, but 98% of my business, I've been doing it all myself. I've had one of my friends, the Vibrant thing on YouTube, she's been a big help, helping me like with content and stuff like that. And I'll be pushing that out with more out, giving me material to do content with. You've seen her on my flyers, you've seen her in some of my reels and videos and things like that. You know what I mean? She's a very beautiful spirit in person, inside and out. So like, I want to really like kind of like basically, speak on it, and maybe even more so actually show, as time goes on, like me doing things as a business person as well. So, but yeah, this is a really interesting journey. There's it's not easy. It's not easy at all, but I love to learn. And when it comes to marketing, when it comes to like, running a business, it's like the marketing aspect of it is very like, it's ever changing. Like my cousin, he has a business, YB Limited. He I talked to him in the beginning, and he was telling me, he was like, cuz, this isn't gonna be easy. Like, it's ever changing, and especially when you're starting out, it's like it's an uphill battle because it's like you're treading water. You know what I mean? The water is going up, and it's like you're trying to fight to stay on the level so you won't drown. And that's how marketing is, because especially when you're starting out, because you might have like family and friends and maybe people that have followed you on your personal page that might follow you and support you on the strength or whatever, when starting out. But you really have to really learn the ins and outs of marketing. You have to know what your target audience is. You have to know how to reach that target audience. You got to know how to keep their attention and things like that. It's basically like a psychological game. Like, not a game, but it's like you have to step in their mind. Like, I work at a hospital. I work in the records department, and I interact with patients a lot, in person and on the phone. And it's like you always have to constantly put yourself in the mind of that patient, because when that patient calls and that patient is upset, which they are most likely, and they have every right to be for whatever given reason, but you can't really take it personal if that veteran, calls up and they're upset and they expect you to have all the answers. You know what I mean? And me growing up in the hospitals, and I talked about it a little bit last week, like growing up in the hospitals and being in the hospitals and being in the hospital for weeks and having countless surgeries and stuff like that. Growing up in my first 15 years of life, I know how it feels to be the patient. And working in the medical field, it's like you step into the mind of being a patient. You know what I mean? Just off GP though, you wanna be a kind person. You wanna be a helping person. You wanna come across as helpful as you can. You don't wanna add to their stress. You wanna, if you can, you wanna try to diffuse whatever stress they had the best way you can. But It's the same way in marketing. You have to step into the mind of the customer. You have to, even if the customer is looking for a solution to whatever they're dealing with, or even if the person just wants to come to you and and because you have something that 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 they're interested into because they're into holistic health. Maybe you have a tonic. Maybe you have something that help them to maintain their health. It might not necessarily be just about you know overcoming that condition. Or then you also gotta think somebody else that might be into holistic health might be doing something to encourage somebody else close to them to uh you know take their health more serious. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Me, and that's part of the reason, like with my cerebral palsy journey, I want to working to reverse cerebral palsy. Is like, okay, like I said last week, just like anything in life, if you want to do something, it's best to try to do it by example. Okay, let me take this on, and they see how well I'm doing, then they will be more inclined to get out of their comfort zone and try it for themselves. So, that's the way I've learned to approach marketing and just running a business in general. Like, you have to step into the mind of that potential customer. What do they want? What do you have to do to ensure in their minds that you're an everyday person and you're willing to communicate with them? Because most of the people that's interested in supporting your business, they're looking for a solution. And they're looking for somebody that's willing to communicate with them. Not somebody that you just buy from them, you don't hear from them. And the only time you really hear from them is, when you're willing to get them to want them to buy your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's also something that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I want people to see my growth overall. Like my brother, Don Dripper, on Instagram. The Raising Averages podcast is about being the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? So, like, what can you do, and are you doing things to set it in motion? Just like even with my business, a lot of what I've been doing over the past couple months is not necessarily to make money straight out the gate. You know what I mean? And it's not even about money. Obviously, I want to make money because it takes money to run a business, but you want to. I've noticed a lot of what I do is for me to build towards down the line so that the process can be easier down the line. Because, people say, just stick with it and you're gonna get business, things gonna pick up and things like that. Maybe it's true, but in my mind, it's like, as long as I'm working towards building to the point to where I'm bringing in more customers and people increase my brand, it'll increase the awareness of my brand. You know what I mean? Just doing things. Simple things like passing out flyers at certain establishments, putting flyers in my packages and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Business cards and stuff like that. Just things like that might seem small, but I'm thinking like those things can help down the line. So, you know, I want people to be invested in me because I'm invested in them. When someone wants to support me and when someone is interested in trying my black seed oil or my fragrances and things like that I'm going to be coming out with in the future, you know, I want them to know that I'm invested in them. And the same way, you know, by pushing out content like doing these videos, is like, okay, people that are watching me, like, I want them to root for me. Root for me, not in a way where, like, I'm trying to be, like, charismatic or somebody like that. But I want people to be invested in, okay, I want to see this guy, you know, overcome a lot of his physical ailments. I want to see this guy. I want to see how this guy has grown as a person. I want to see how this guy has grown as a businessman. You know what I mean? Because I grew up going through school and basically being indoctrinated to go through school and go through the system just to you know, get you a good job and work. Now I'm living my passion with, you know, this being an herbalist and all the other things that entails. So many other things that entails with herbalism and horticulture and, you know, farming and things like that I haven't even really gotten into that I'm interested in. But or even just botanism, like putting together tonics and things like that. Things that I'm passionate about. You know what I mean? And other things, other branches of those. There's so many branches of those. But yeah, I really want people to see the growth of me in my business and as a person and physically, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just another part of this journey, you know, that I think is going to be pretty fun. So, you know, stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, Ziggy the Iron King. Visit my website, Amexum Holistic Creations LLC on Instagram. Visit my website, AmexumHolistics.com. Visit my Facebook page, Amexum Holistics LLC on Facebook. Check me out on Instagram, on Pinterest, you know. Check me out on Twitter at Amexum Holistics on Twitter and things like that. So, you know, stay tuned. Peace.